Alrighty, welcome back to Kitten Crochet. It is time for the May square. So this one is kind of fun. This is what the front looks like, and this is what the back looks like. So totally, completely different front and back, but they're both kind of cool and a little bit funky. So this one is returning back to symmetrical, so every quadrant, each of the four corners areas will be the same, and every side will be the same. So that makes it a little bit easier. This one is going to start a little bit differently. You're still going to start with the ring, and just going to go on a little bit differently, and I will show you how that goes. So for this project, you're going to need 2 colors of worsted weight yarn and a size 8 crochet hook and 2 stitch markers. The pattern is free on my blog, or you can purchase a PDF of it, and you can get the chart from my blog. There's a blank one, or there's one with F's or B's written on there to denote front or back stitches, so you can pick those up from the blog. The link is in the description. So we are ready to go. Now, the first thing you need to do is get whatever color the center of your square is going to be. For this sample, the center of my square is going to be yellow, so I'll start with yellow. I'm going to start with a magic loop for my center. So I'm going to lay my yarn over here, that my working end is over here, and my yarn tail is over here. Loop it around my palm. And now I'll take my hook and grab that yarn. I'm going to do 7 chain here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll make my ring a little smaller just to make it easier. Now I'm going to work a double crochet in my ring. A chain 1, another double crochet. And if you've been following along, I'd love to see your other squares. If you haven't, I've been releasing a square every month, so you can get the squares for January through April free on my blog, and there's also video tutorials that go with those squares that you can get on this YouTube channel. So chain 4 here. This will be the next corner. Now we'll do a double crochet. A chain 1 and another double crochet. Now we're on another corner, so we'll do a chain 4. And a double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet. And now we need one more corner, so another chain 4. And a double crochet, and a chain 1. And now we need to join to our starting chain. We'll join to the 3rd chain, which would be the top of a double crochet, because that starting chain counted as our double crochet and our chain 4. So now I'll do a chain 4. I'll place a stitch marker, and we can tighten up our magic ring. So you should have 4 corner chain 4 spaces and 4 sets of 2 double crochet separated by single chain stitches. So let's set that aside for a minute, and now we'll take our bee color. And for the bee color, I'm just going to start with a slip knot. I'll do a chain 8. We'll join to our starting chain to make a ring, and now chain 4. And now this is where this square differs from the other squares you've done so far. So in all of the other squares, we ended up pushing this ring between these 2 double crochets, either from the bottom or from the top. But in this square, we need the ring and the first double crochet to both be on the top. So I'm just going to place this right here. And I'm going to use my stitch marker to temporarily hold it in place. That didn't go through. Because I don't really want it sliding all around. Okay, so now on this round, we're going to use this color. This is going to need to start in the front on the next round, so we'll leave it in the front and get this bee color back on our hook. Alright, so on this round, all of the corner stitches will be worked from the back, and all of the side stitches will be worked from the front. So to get started here, we're going to yarn over and go from the back, so that means under this yellow ring, grab our gray loop and pull it through. So we're working into the gray, not into the yellow. We'll finish our double crochet. Now this is a corner, so it's going to be a double crochet, a chain 4, and a double crochet in the same place. So go around that ring again. And you can see right now, let me finish this stitch, it's pulling this ring through the corner, and that'll adjust as we keep going, so don't worry about that right now. Okay, so now a chain 1. And now the next stitch is from the front, so we'll yarn over and go in front of this yellow. We're not going to go under. We'll go in front, grab our gray ring. We should be only grabbing gray, and do a double crochet. And a chain 1. Now we're on a corner again, so we're going to go from the back. Stitch marker out of the way. Yarn over through that corner from the back. Grab our gray ring, do a double crochet, chain 4, and another double crochet in the same place. And chain 1. So interlocking crochet, if you're new to it, it's going to be just double crochets and chain stitches. Every side stitch will have a chain 1 between it, and on the corner there will be a chain 4. So as we get going, I'm going to stop saying chain 1 and chain 4, but you just know that every side stitch has a chain 1 between the double crochets, and every corner stitch has a chain 4. If I don't say it, you gotta remember. Okay, so now we're on a side stitch again. That'll be from the front. So yarn over from the front, grab our gray ring, double crochet, chain 1. Now our corner is from the back. Yarn over, up through the corner, grab the gray ring, and double crochet. Chain 4, and double crochet in the same place. Chain 1. Now we're on the side again, so we'll yarn over, grab our ring, and double crochet, chain 1. And we have one more corner here. My yarn tail's got to get in the way, so I'm going to pull that out of the way. Okay. Now we need a corner. From the back, we'll go up through the corner loop, grab our gray ring, pull it through, and double crochet. Now chain 4, and double crochet in the same place. Chain 1, and now it's time to join to our starting chain. So when you look at your starting chain here, you've got, this is the top of this double crochet, that counts as the chain 1, this would be the top of the starting double crochet. So I find it easier to count back from that double crochet stitch than to try and count up from the bottom when it's covered by other yarn. Then chain 4, and we'll place a stitch marker. Alright, so this is what our start should look like here. We've got our ring in front, all of our white corners are in the back, our bee color, and our side bee color chains are coming from the front. So this is our start for this square. Now, one nice thing about this square is that every row, these always start in front. So you don't really have to think about it. Your other color is always going to need to start in front. And you only really need to pay attention after the first few rows. You need to pay attention to the corners, because otherwise here, let me show you. On the square, you've just got these stripes. So once you've established the pattern, these stripes continue all the way up. So after your corner section, you just copy whatever you did on the row before. So it makes it a lot easier, and you'll see as we keep going what I mean by that. So now it is time for our A color square, or A color row, excuse me. So now this row, our A color is just going to be in front for every stitch. So we started in front, we'll do this corner in front. So yarn over, grab our yellow corner, do our double crochet, a chain 4, and another double crochet, chain 1. Now we need to make sure we see the top of our previous double crochet, because that's where we need to work. We yarn over and do a double crochet from the front in our previous yellow double crochet, and you can pull this other color around kind of to see your stitches better. So I just did a double crochet and a chain 1. Now I'll do another one in this other yellow double crochet. So A color always works into A color, and B color always works into B color, except for the very last row, B color will work into both. Okay, so there's my double crochet, now a chain 1, and now again from the front for this corner, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in our yellow double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in our other yellow double crochet, and chain 1. And notice how I've got this white double crochet between the yellows. Every stitch should have an opposite color stitch between it, so don't kind of push under that to grab that stitch or you'll get a wonky looking square. Make sure you leave room for the other color. Okay, chain 1, and now the corner again, double crochet, oops, chain 4, and double crochet. Chain 1. Now this side, we need a double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet, chain 1, and I've got one more corner here. It's double crochet, chain 4, double crochet in the same place, chain 1. Now to finish this row, we need one more yellow double crochet, a chain 1, and then we'll have this B color in front, and we'll join to our starting chain. So it's the top of our double crochet, our chain 1, the top of our starting double crochet, and chain 4. Place a stitch marker. Don't let my crochet hook roll off the table. Okay. Now I'm going back onto B color here. So A color will need to be in the front. Get B back on our hook. So for B on this row, we're going to do the sides will be in front, the corners will be in the back, just like our first row. Alright, so we started in the front, we have another front here. Chain 1. Now our corner will be from the back, so we just go behind this yellow and grab our gray chain 4 from our previous corner. We'll do a double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1. Now we need to go back to the front to get our double crochet. So if you look here, this is the double crochet stitch we're going to work into, but we need to go from the front, we need to go on this side, so it's going to be between these two double crochet. We don't want to go through the corner to grab it because that'll mess up our pattern. So going from the front through the yellow into our gray stitch, and chain one. Now 2 more from the front, between the yellows into the gray. Chain one. Between these yellows, we get our gray double crochet, and chain one. And now we're back to the corner, which will be from the back. Yarn over, grab our gray chain 4. We'll do a double crochet, chain 4, and double crochet. Chain 1. Now again from the front, we need to go between these 2 double crochet, grab our gray stitch, and do a double crochet. Chain 1. 2 more from the front, double crochet, chain 1, again between the yellow stitches, double crochet, chain 1. Now we're back at the corner, we'll go from the back, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1. Okay, back to the front, between these yellow stitches, at the top of our our white, gray double crochet, chain 1, more front stitch on this side, and the corner from the back. Chain 1, join to our starting chain, chain 4, place a stitch marker. So that is the end of row 2B, and you can see what we've got going on here. This is what the front looks like, and this is what the back looks like. For row 3A, we'll get our A color back on our hook. For this row, all of your side stitches will be in the front, and your corner will be in the back. So our first stitch here was in the front already. We'll yarn over, do another front stitch in our next double crochet. Chain 1, and now our corner will be from the back, so we'll go behind, reach through the gray loop, and grab our yellow, double crochet, chain 4, and double crochet in the same place, then chain 1. Now we'll go back to the front. I'll have 4 front stitches across this side. So front stitch, chain 1, front double crochet, chain 1, front double crochet, chain 1, front double crochet, oops, chain 1. Now our corner again from the back. We'll go through the gray loop, grab the yellow loop, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1. So this side again, from the front, chain 1, front all the way across, double crochets, then chain 1s. Now our corners from the back, through the gray, grab the yellow, our corner again, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1. The front, it's really common to forget that chain 1 after the corner, but remember there has to be a chain 1 between this stitch and the next one that's coming, so there has to be a chain 1 after that double crochet. Okay, now from the front we'll do the next 4 stitches from the front. The corner from the back. Now to finish this row, remember our B color is going to need to be in front, so we'll make sure that's in front. Got another 2 double crochets to work. And our last 2 stitches of this row. And then we'll join to our starting chain. Theoretically, I might join to my starting chain. Go, hook, go. Chain 4, place a stitch marker. So that's row 3A. Now it's time to get our B color back on our hook. A will be in front. So this is row 3B. Everything for this row will be worked from the front. So front across the sides and front on the corner. So we'll start here with a front stitch. Front stitch, front corner, front stitch, and you just keep going like this all the way around. Front stitches all the way across the sides, and front stitch on the corner. One thing to be aware of is sometimes really easy to skip this first double crochet here. So just be aware that there is one kind of hidden behind there that you need to get right after the corner. Alright, when you get around to the end of the row, we'll join to our starting chain. Chain 4, and place a stitch marker. Now we'll get our A color back on our hook for row 4A. This row, the middle 4 stitches on each side are going to be from the front, and then the last double crochet in the corner will be from the back. So we've got one more front here on this side to start. Now back. We can just push this whole gray thing in front out of the way so we can see easily. Just kind of handy. A back stitch and then a back corner. Now one more back stitch in the top of this double crochet. And now we need to switch back to the front. Do 4 front stitches, so that was 1. And this is actually one of the easiest squares. The February square is definitely the very easiest, but this one is similar in that it has these vertical stripes, so once you get going on this pattern, it's much easier than some of the other ones. The first row, I think, is harder, just because you've got that ring starting in the front, so it's a little more wobbly. But once you get going, this pattern just kind of flies. So here I did my back corner, back, and now I'll do 4 more front stitches along this side. Back corner, and another back, now 4 fronts. Back, back corner, another back. I'll do 4 front. Actually, sorry, it's the last row, so just 2 front, and we need to make sure our B color is pushed to the front so it's ready for the next row. And we'll join to our starting chain. Chain 4. And place a stitch mark. Now we'll get our B color on our hook. So for this round, everything is in front except the corners. The corners will be from the back. Make sure our A color is in front. And you will discover, if you haven't already, that most of the stitches that you do with B color are almost always from the front. Except a very rare back corner, B is worked from the front. So here is a back corner. Go through the yellow, grab the gray, in the same place. we'll do front stitches all the way across. Now we're at the corner again, so we'll do a back corner. Reach through the yellow to grab the gray. Double crochet, chain 4, and double crochet. And now we're back to the front. We'll work front stitches all the way along this side. Remembering to put your chains between your double crochets. And now we're at the corner, do a back corner, through the yellow, grab the gray, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1, and now front stitches along this side again, and one more back corner. Through the yellow, grab the gray, double crochet, a chain 4, and then a double crochet in the same place for our corner, chain 1. We'll finish this row off with a few more front stitches. And we'll join to our starting chain. Chain 4, and place the stitch marker. And we'll get our A color back on our hook for row 5. A. We started in the front, we'll do one more front stitch. You can see it's just matching up with what's already been done on the rows before, so if you don't want to think about it that much, you don't really have to until the corner. Alright, chain 1, this one's from the back. And now we'll do a front and then a front corner. Now we need one front stitch, a back stitch, 4 front stitches, back stitch, front stitch, and then a front corner, one more front stitch here, now a back stitch, 4 front stitches, a back stitch, front stitch, the front corner, front stitch, back stitch, four front stitches, back stitch, front stitch, front corner, front stitch, back stitch, now we'll finish it off with 2 front stitches. Make sure our B color is in the front, ready for the next row. We'll join to our starting chain. Now row 5B is basically the same as row 4B. You're going to do everything in the front except the corner will be in the back. So I will go through until the first corner and then I'll stop it because it's all the same. Just front stitches all the way to the corner and then a back corner. So make sure your A color is in the front. Start with a front stitch. Front stitch, front stitch. This one's in the front also. But then our corner's in the back if I can get my yarn untangled. Okay. Okay, and then we need a front stitch, so this stitch right here we need to work from the front, so make sure we go between those 2 yellow stitches to get that first front stitch. Oops. And now we're just going to do front stitches all the way across, back stitch in the corner, front all the way across, back corner, front all the way across, back corner, front all the way to here, and join to our starting chain. Okay, so now for row 6A, I'll start here, another front, and now back, 2 fronts, and a back corner here. Oh dear. Okay, now for the next side, we'll do 2 fronts, a back, four fronts, now back, two fronts, and a back corner, two fronts, back, four fronts, that was a back, and now two fronts, and a back corner. Okay, now two fronts, a back, four fronts, a back, two fronts, and a back corner. Now two fronts, a back, and two fronts, our B color in front, and we'll join to our starting chain. Chain 4 and place a stitch marker. For row 6B, I'm actually not going to film this because it is in the front all the way around. So you're going to go in the front, do a front corner, front corner, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Make sure your A color starts in front so it's ready for the next round. Alright, row 7A, we'll get our A color back on our hook. We'll go another front. A back. Two fronts. And now a back. And a back corner. And a back to start the row. Now we'll do two fronts. A back. Four fronts. And back. Two fronts. Now back. A back corner. Start with another back. Two fronts. A back. Four fronts. Now back. Two fronts. Now a back. A back corner. And we'll start the next side with a back. Two fronts. back. 4 fronts. And then a back. Now 2 fronts. I've got a back. A back corner. Now we're back on our last side. We'll start with a back. Two fronts. A back. And now 2 fronts to finish off the row. Our B color needs to be in front, and we'll join to our starting chain. Oh, goodness. And chain 4. And place a stitch marker. Alright, now for the B row, it's going to be very simple. It's not quite all in the front this round. It's going to be all in the front except the back corners. So still very, very simple, easy to remember. I'll work through the first corner and then I'll turn off the camera since it's just the same. Alright, so A color needs to be in front. Now we're just going to work front stitches all the way across to that corner. Alright, now my very corner is going to be in the back. So under the yellow, grab the gray, and work my corner. Now I need to go back to the front. And we will just do fronts all the way across. So you can just keep on like that. You'll do fronts across, then you do a back corner all the way around. Fronts across, back corners, and then join it to your starting chain. Alrighty, now we're going on to row 8A. So we'll get our A color back on our hook. So again, we're going to start with front here because we're just following the pattern we've established for these middles of the sides. So back. Oops. Now 2 fronts. Now a back. And now a front. And a front corner. And you can see we've established kind of a repeating pattern here. So we've got the middle section, which is these 4 straights. But now we've got, I call these spiders. So I've got this spider that's connected to these 2 legs, and we've got a gray spider here, now an orange spider here, or yellow spider, and now we're starting to make another orange spider. So this is like the spider body and those are the legs. That's how I think of them anyway. If you don't like spiders, then maybe don't think of them that way. Anyway, okay. Moving on. We're going to start with a front. And a back. Two front. A back. Four front. Now back. Two front. Now back. Front. Now front corner. Now front. Back. Two front. A back. Four front. Back. Two front. A back. Front. Now a front corner. Now front. Back. Two fronts. A back. Four fronts. A back. Two fronts. A back. Front. Front corner. Front. Now back. Two front. back, 2 front, B color needs to be in front, and we'll join to our starting chain. Chain 4, and place a stitch marker. Now for the B row, again, I'm not going to film the whole thing because it is pretty simple. We're going to do all fronts again, except a back corner. So I will work through the first corner, and then I will turn off the camera while I finish the row. So our A color needs to be in front. Start with front stitches all the way to the corner. Remember, you have to reach through to get that last double crochet to work into, so that's in the front. And now our corner will be in the back. Now this stitch is going to be from the front, so we need to work from the front between those 2 yellow stitches. Okay, so now you'll just repeat that. You'll go front all the way across till the corner, work the corner in the back, all the way around. When you get to the end, join to your starting chain, and then just do a chain 3 instead of a chain 4 to finish row 8B. Alright, last row for color A. We're going to race to see if I can finish this before my camera battery dies. Okay, so we're going to start with a front. Now back. Two fronts. Two backs. Sorry, just one back. I said 2 backs, I meant 1. 2 fronts. And now a back corner. I have 2 fronts. Back. 2 fronts. A back. 4 fronts. Back. 2 fronts. Back. 2 fronts. And a back corner. I'll go with 2 fronts, a back, 2 fronts, a back, 4 fronts, a back, 2 fronts, back, 2 fronts, back corner, two fronts, a back, 2 fronts, a back, now 4 fronts, a back, 2 fronts, a back, 2 fronts, and a back corner. Alright, on the home stretch, we'll do 2 fronts, and a back, 2 fronts, and then a back, and we'll finish this row with 2 fronts, B color needs to be in front, and we'll join to our starting chain. Now, instead of doing a chain 4, I'm going to cut off my A color. My cute little unicorn scissors. I love those. Okay. Because we are now done with A color. And now we need to get B color back on our hook. Now remember, you should have done a chain 3 instead of a chain 4 at the end of row 8B. So if you didn't, then take out one of your chains. So now on the last row, instead of doing a chain 1 in between each double crochet, we're going to work a back loop single crochet into the double crochet of the other color. This is going to link our two colors together and make a nice even edge. So this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So I'll do a back loop single crochet in that yellow. And now all of the gray stitches, all of our B color stitches on this whole round are going to be from the front. So this is going to be one of the easier border rows. So we'll do a front double crochet in our gray, and a back loop single crochet in our yellow. Front double in our gray, back loop single in the yellow. Front double in the gray, back loop single in the yellow, front double in the gray, back loop single in the yellow, front double in the gray, back loop single in the yellow, front double in the gray, back loop single in the yellow, front double in the gray. Oops, having problems. There we go. Back loop single in the yellow. Okay, front double in the gray, back loop single in the yellow, and now we are at the corner. So the corners on the last row are a little strange, and I'll walk you through it. We're going to do 5 stitches over this corner. We're going to start with a front double crochet around the gray chain. And now, because we're working this corner in the front, for the yellow stitches, we're just going to do a single crochet around the yellow chain. Now a double crochet around the gray chain, single crochet around the yellow chain, and one more double crochet around the gray chain. So there are 5 stitches worked for this corner. There's 3 double crochets over the gray chain and 2 single crochets over the yellow chain, and that links them together. Now right after the corner, it's a little bit awkward because the next stitch is a back loop single crochet in that yellow double crochet, so don't forget that. And then we're back to the same pattern. We'll do front double crochet, back loop single crochet in the yellow. So you will just keep on going like this all the way around. All of the gray stitches are worked in the front, and then back loop single crochets in the top of the yellow double crochets. The corners have 5 stitches, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. So you'll do that all the way around. And then when you get back to the beginning, you'll end this. You'll have a double crochet in this gray stitch, back loop single crochet in the yellow, and then join to your starting chain. And then you'll be done. That'll be the end of the May square. So I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the latest updates. You can also subscribe to my email list where you can get notified about new patterns. You can get discount codes. For example, my email subscribers get a discount code to get a free PDF printable of this pattern when it launched. So subscribe to the channel, and the email sign up is in the video description. Happy crocheting!